morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Thank you so much for joining us today for this phenomenal Saturday morning call with Kristen White and Dr. Strand. We are so excited to hear from Dr. Strand about taking back control of our health, and it's going to be a phenomenal morning. I'm very, very excited to introduce our host, Miss Kristen White. Kristen, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. Thank you for having me.
You
Super
ready
excited
for
to
a
be here.
phenomenal day?
Yes, this is one of my favorite speakers, so I'm so excited to have him here. So,
Awesome. Well, let's jump in. I'm gonna
yeah,
go ahead and take it away.
yeah. So, everybody, we know we are gearing up for our body balancing challenge, and I can't think of a better speaker to kick us off. We know this challenge really gears us up for the new year, but this is really a foundational piece to get our bodies reset. It's more about wellness than it is about weight loss sometimes. And he is really going to tell us how to get that going. I think I have every single one of his books. If you do not have a pen and paper, you need to go get one right now because he is going to give you some really golden nuggets that is going to accelerate not only your weight loss, because I mean, sometimes that is what we're here for 2025, but we really want to accelerate your health here. And all of his books have tons of information on how to do that. And this next pack or this next 25 minutes is going to be jam packed with little golden nuggets, and you need to be jotting those down. So, with no further ado, I am
Hey,
so
Kristen,
excited.
can I interrupt you
Yes,
for 1 second?
yes, of
Are also
course.
we are also streaming live on Facebook. So partner.co USA, we are also streaming live. So feel free to go out, reach out to your friends, have them join us via this Zoom link or also via our Facebook page, which is again partner.co USA. Have them jump on during this call because, like Kristen said, this is going to be the most amazing content. And so it's so easy to have your friends join. So wanted to make sure everyone knew that, Kristen.
That means it can be replayed too.
And we'll
So,
also have the replay exactly. So it'll be live and then we'll have the replay. So there's so many great ways for people to join us on this content.
so good to know. You can always replay and go tag them. So I do want to welcome our guest speaker. He is on our scientific advisory board. I think I've watched every single one of his medical minutes, every single one of his product contents. He is, to me, a genius when it comes to foundational nutrition, and I'm so excited to hear from him again. So, Dr. Ray Strand, please take the floor and tell us how to kick off 2025 this year.
Well, thank you, Kristen. And I appreciate being here. Merry Christmas to everybody. And I'm really excited to be part of the kickoff. And I'm going to share my screen here. And so we can get started. And so I'm going to do this show and then we'll get going here from the beginning. But today's talk and really my discussion really might fake people out because everybody that's on here really probably is more interested in losing weight and getting their weight off and especially their fat. But I want you to have a better understanding of what you're really trying to accomplish during this challenge. And you're taking back control of your health. And of course, I'm a physician, I'm a family physician, and that's always the most important thing to me. Yes, I love weight loss, but starting years ago, I was frustrated. My patients would come in and they had tried 3, 4, 5 different diets. They're yo-yo dieters and frustrated. They couldn't lose weight. If they did, they quickly gained it back. And so that led to my research that I'm going to share with you today. And we just have to understand that we're going and we're just going to go through this, but we need to understand something. When I started in the mid 1990s, actually 1995, 96, I was reviewed. There's a gentleman, a researcher out of Stanford named Dr. Gerald Ravens, who had put together a constellation of problems that he originally called Syndrome X, and then it was called the metabolic syndrome, and then insulin resistance syndrome. Now we call it prediabetes. And I'm hearing a lot of doctors coming out and they're now calling it metabolic dysfunction. But this is a modern epidemic. And this is what I want to share with you. Just here are some of the most current statistics, and you guys can share this. 74% of all adults in both the US and Canada are now considered to be either overweight or obese. 74%. But 50% of our children are now either overweight or obese. Now, 50% of the adults, and this is the most amazing thing, actually have already prediabetes or they've developed type 2 diabetes. And 30% of our children have prediabetes. Here's another interesting statistics. 18% of our teens have what we call fatty liver disease. In other words, they've gained so much weight, it's infiltrated the liver and causing liver disease. Now, I'm just going to go back here. In 1950, only 1% of Americans had type 2 diabetes. So what is happening? What's going on? Well, we have focused on weight control, and everybody's trying to lose weight. In fact, 30% of those in the US are trying to lose weight at any one time. Another 30% are at least trying to maintain their weight. Americans are spending over $30 billion each and every year on diets and weight loss plans. Now, 2/3 of medical literature now, when you go back and look at the medical studies with weight loss, 2/3 of those who are even able to lose weight on a diet gain it back within 1 year. And if you go out 2 years, 98% gain their weight back and more. So diets fail 98% of the time, but why don't diets work? Well, the main reasons diets don't work is they're a short-term solution for a long-term problem. So anytime any one of my patients come in and say, oh, Dr. Strand, I'm going to go on such and such a diet. Well, the connotation is if they're going to go on a diet somewhere in the future, they're going to come off that diet and usually return to those poor lifestyles that got them into trouble to begin with. But the other reasons diets don't work is they don't tackle the cause of why over 85–90% of us gain weight in the first place. We don't even look at the cause. Because once you tip over into this metabolic dysfunction and hormonal imbalance, we're talking about balancing hormones, you literally can't lose weight. You hold on to fat like a sponge holds on to water. And what I learned back in the 90s, if I could not correct the cause of this weight gain, you can't effectively lose weight. And so when back in the 90s, I sat there and said, well, gee, we'll kind of get into that. The problem being poor lifestyles. Why do we develop this? Well, the problem is really our poor diet, the all-American diet, along with inactivity. Now, 80% of the food we consume, especially carbohydrates in the US and Canada, are highly processed, high glycemic foods. The more man processes the grains in our food, the more our body can absorb the sugars from those grains and create spiking of our blood sugar. And I'm going to share this. This is the problem. Plus, there's a lot of junk in our food that's not healthy in processed foods. But yet this is where we are. But I'm going to show you the more we eat and less activity we have, we become less and less sensitive to our own insulin, which is creating a major hormonal imbalance and this metabolic dysfunction. So I'm going to show you this here. Let me just get my pointer going here. So when you wake up in the morning, this is a graph. This dotted black line is your fasting blood sugar. Every morning you wake up, you have a level. It's called a fasting blood sugar. But since 80% of the carbohydrates you consume are high glycemic, you might have a instant oatmeal, you might have a bagel, you might have orange juice, but your blood sugar will rise very rapidly after that meal. Well, the body must control that blood sugar in a very narrow range because our brain thinks on blood sugar. So this stimulates the release of insulin. which is your storage hormone. So insulin's job is to drive that sugar into the cell to either be utilized as, as energy or stored as glycogen or fat. Well, we overstimulate insulin when we go up this fast, so the blood sugar goes down as fast as it went up. But look at here, it drops below the fasting blood sugar and into the low blood sugar range we call hypoglycemia. Now, this low blood sugar stimulates the release of our stress hormones. We talk about stress in our life and that, but the foods you choose, I always tell my patients, the strongest drug and the most important drug you take into your body are the foods you choose to eat. But the stress hormones will drive this blood sugar back up to normal. Now, that's fine, but now you got these high blood sugar or blood levels of stress hormones in your blood, and in the medical literature, it leads to an uncontrollable hunger. In other words, you have no control. Just a functional response, normal functional response to spiking your blood sugar sets off an uncontrollable hunger, and you got to eat again. You have no control. It's called hyperphagia. But you set off, and you usually crave another high glycemic meal, jumps up, comes down, and we just do this day in and day out over and over again. Well, it's kind of like hollering wolf all the time. We keep stimulating the insulin. Well, eventually, over time, you become less sensitive to your insulin. So here's a graph. This thing I just like to show you is 25 years in length. But you could go back here even before this because it takes 10, 15 years of these poor lifestyles before you finally develop what we call insulin resistance, or you just don't respond to insulin anymore. And here comes the hormonal imbalance. The body controls this insulin resistance by actually producing more insulin. So blood insulin levels begin to rise, rise, rise. And that affects many hormones in our body, but especially glucagon, our fat releasing hormone. So that's dysfunctional. You can't release fat. And that's why when you tip over into this abnormal metabolic state called metabolic dysfunction, prediabetes, all of that, you just can't lose weight. But there's also things that occur when this goes up. But then the body, over another 10, 12 years, because you just don't wake up one day and have diabetes, all of a sudden you can't make that much insulin. So blood insulin levels begin to drop, and whoops, there goes your blood sugar. And we diagnosed out here that you become diabetic in my medical office because your blood sugar's gone up. But that's after 15 years of all these changes I'm going to share with you, which actually causes damage to our health. Our arteries begin aging a third faster than they should. So let's detail that. Here's things, and I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but I want you to understand that the hallmark sign of metabolic dysfunction is central weight gain. So anytime you have expanding waist size, and I always take a tape measure out when I do physicals on my patients. This is the key. It's just real simple. If my women start to get a waist size, measuring on the smallest part of their waist over 32 inches, 33 inches, they've tipped over into this in the early signs. My men, if they get over 36 inches in a waist size, that's the hallmark sign, weight gain. And the reason is you can't utilize calories like you used to. Many of the calories that should be used for energy are now being stored as fat centrally. But there's a constellation of problems, as I show down here in this list, that also occur and actually increase or actually accelerate aging. That's why many of us physicians call this central weight gain killer fat. Now that's not probably too promising and getting you to look at this differently. But what else is associated? Well, your blood pressure goes up. Your cholesterols go up. That good HDL cholesterol goes down. That very bad LDL cholesterol goes up. The other fat in your blood, triglycerides, go up. Then eventually, like I showed you, your blood sugars go up and you're at increased risk of both heart attacks, strokes, diabetes. But now we have identified that this same process is the cause of obstructive sleep apnea because that central weight gain goes up into the neck and we have trouble breathing at night. But women, Infertility, the number one cause is polycystic ovarian disease. So this is why we get hormonal imbalance here. And this is why it's important. So when you start to look at this, you want to know the answer. I've laid out the problem, but I want you to know there is an answer. It's healthy lifestyles. Back in the 90s, I said, jeepers, if it's poor lifestyles that got us into this problem to begin with, maybe healthy lifestyles that actually improve insulin sensitivity could get us out. That was my philosophy. And that's when I studied the medical literature. I spent 3.5 years studying the medical literature to help my patients. And that's my book, Healthy for Life. So what we find is that 90% of all prediabetes and type 2 diabetes is preventable. So this becomes a choice, but it takes patient motivation. Becoming pre-diabetic or diabetic is actually a choice. And even if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, you can significantly improve, if not tip yourself back into a normal metabolic state. So here's the key. Firmly establishing new, healthier lifestyles that improve insulin sensitivity is the answer. Here comes Partner Co.'s Slenderiiz program. That's based on all my research. They're taking all the science, all the medical evidence I've done 3 clinical trials through the FDA called IRBs on this program, showing that we do improve the metabolic dysfunction. But it's a 4-part now, comprehensive, healthy lifestyle program. This is not a diet. I just showed you diets fail 98% of the time. Why would Partner Co. want to develop another diet program that you're going to fail 98% of the time? That's a joke. We don't want that. So here's the key. We want to firmly establish these new, healthier lifestyles. A healthy diet. You need to avoid those processed grains, the almighty white potato, and start eating whole foods and getting out of this metabolic syndrome. But also, that improves insulin sensitivity from a certain mechanism, but modest exercise. You don't have to be a superstar. Simply go out and walk briskly 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week. That improves insulin sensitivity from a different mechanism. And then nutritional supplementation, which as being in preventive medicine, I believe that everybody, should be eating a healthy diet, should be exercising and taking high quality nutritional supplements and providing the optimal levels of these micronutrients, essential nutrients that have been shown to provide a health benefit in our medical literature. Now, this is the key, but I want to promote and tell you about Slenderiiz and Accelerate. Now, man, I can't tell you how neat this is, because making these behavioral modification changes is not easy. There's no drug that can do this. You have to make lifestyle changes. That's the only thing that is effectively going to help. And even the American College, the American Association of Endocrinologists agrees with this, that you need to have intensive lifestyle changes. No drugs will do this. But Slenderiiz becomes the most important thing you can add. It's discipline in a bottle. And I want to share with you, just to give you a little bit of insight in how this works with establishing these new healthy lifestyles that we want you to do, because that's the key. But Slenderiiz allows you to do this. It's a homeopathic, these are homeopathic drugs containing 11 different ingredients. And if you go through them, and I'm just going to tell you from a physician's perspective what I believe in Slenderiiz and Accelerate. But the main thing is there are several of these homeopathic ingredients that actually improve insulin sensitivity, again, from a different mechanism. But here's the thing. And not only are there several other ingredients that suppress your appetite, but they actually decrease your cravings for sugars, for sweets, and actually for overeating. You become hungry. I can tell you, anybody that takes these drops, you just can't eat that much. And it just does it. It's wonderful. But others of these ingredients increase your metabolism, your energy, and your focus. Others actually have a calming effect and improve your mood. And why is that important? Because when you make these lifestyle changes, it's stressful, but just learning to eat a healthy diet and getting out of that carbohydrate cravings or addiction, it takes a while, it takes several days. This helps. But all these ingredients work synergistically to help balance your hormones. So when we talk about balancing hormones, the first key one is insulin. But as insulin comes down, which we showed in the clinical trials, it does. In 9 and 12 weeks, we decreased insulin levels 50% in every clinical trial. So we know that helps. But then along, I add Slenderiiz and Accelerate now. I accomplish everything about twice as fast. They lose weight twice as fast. They improve, all of these metabolic changes twice as fast. But the hormones come back into balance. But then what is Accelerate? Well, Accelerate contains important nutritional supplements along with some amazing herbs. But it contains significant amounts of bioavailable, the best vitamin B12 that improves your energy and your focus. Biotin improves insulin sensitivity, but it also supports your nails, hair, and skin. Rose hips contain high levels of that most important vitamin C, form of vitamin C, and helps hormonal balance. But here's the other one. The two herbs, ashwagandha and rhodiola, these are tremendous in having a calming effect, creating peace. And I'll tell you what, my patients, when they take this, they notice this right away. And it's just amazing the combinations that's there. But I like anything that helps my patients make these lifestyle changes, start to improve insulin sensitivity. But then what happens? Uh, these are the benefits of the Slenderiiz program. This is the challenge. First of all, you start balancing your hormones, which include these insulin levels. But it literally allows you to tip back into a normal metabolic state. Now you're able to release fat effectively and establish your healthy weight. I just see it over and over again. Now, also, some health parameters improve. You get a healthy blood pressure, healthy blood sugar levels, healthy cholesterol levels. And so my patients, when they come in, say, "Oh, Dr. Strand, what's so hard about the Slenderiiz program? Gee, I feel great. I have more energy. I have more focus. I'm not hungry. I feel great. And then my health parameters are improving. And then, whoa, I'm starting to release fat and I'm not even trying. Why? Because we're not relying on willpower. We're correcting the cause of why you gain the weight in the beginning. But it's also very important, if you correct the cause, you're not going to gain the weight back if you continue and firmly establish these healthy lifestyles. And so you want to take back control of your health. You've got to protect the most important asset you have, which is your health. You think about it. My patients always think they're going to have good health until they lose it. And that's what a doctor does every day in their office. We're telling our patients they've lost their health to one extent or the other. But, feel great, have more energy and focus, see your health parameters improve, and lose that unwanted fat permanently. So I'm going to encourage everyone listening today to consider the challenge. Start the Slenderiiz program. You got the support. I mean, I'm just amazed what's going out and what everybody is doing, the leaders out there, and how they're supporting people, because we all need support. We need accountability. That is the key factor that creates success. So I'm going to end, and I want you to understand, Partner Co's Slenderiiz program is not a diet, but instead healthy lifestyles that have a side effect of fat loss. We can't complain about that. Weight loss is great, yeah. However, keeping it off is priceless. So with that, I'm going to end and stop sharing my screen and turning it back to Kristen. You're muted, Kristen.
I sure was, because I didn't want to accidentally come in while you were talking and say anything. If you learned something, I want you to give some love in the chat or put some hearts up because that was so awesome. I was doing screenshots the whole time. I do want to ask one final question to Dr. Strand because this is a kickoff for 2025. And we have people at all different spots going to be starting here. Some people are not going to need to lose weight. Some people will be coming in here that need to lose a lot of weight. And so some people may need to do a month of the drops. Some people may need to run them for 6 months. Could you just kind of explain that? Because some people I think get on some of the forums and they see I've lost 10 pounds or I've lost 60, and then they want to compare their success. And this isn't a comparison journey here. There are non-scale victories that I think you talked about. And I think that those are so important for people to realize everybody's health is different. And this isn't a comparison. So it's okay if you need to run it for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. And how do people kind of know that? Could you give maybe just like a little tip or advice on,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Kristen. First of all, it's not a race. These are something that everybody has to challenge themselves and give yourself a lot of grace. But in my medical practice, I share with my patients that they need to be eating a healthy diet. They need to be exercising. They need to be taking high quality nutritional supplements as part of healthy lifestyles. I don't care if they have to lose weight, they've got this. That's the standard. So everybody, that's just part of preventive medicine. And it does improve a lot of things, your immune system. It improves your repair system, antioxidant defense system. I write about this all the time. However, in this situation, people, I showed you that graph of insulin resistance, and some people are all the way over in the end. They've got type 2 diabetes. They've been dealing with this for 15 years. Other people may just be starting in this. They've got early prediabetes, and some don't have it at all. They just have insulin abuse, I call it. So what I tell people is, number one, I'm not a real big fan of measuring and weight loss and all this, because my patients get so discouraged. They've been in yo-yo diets. And they've all been embarrassed. They don't want to know how much they've lost because they've walked up in front and every week and someone says, oh, they step on a scale. Oh, they lost 3 pounds. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they go walking back and they're thrilled. Well, the next month they go up or next week and they didn't lose as much as they should. And everybody kind of frowns. And pretty soon they walk up and they actually gain weight. And then, ooh. But see, if you use weight as your motivator, in the end, it's going to destroy any motivation you have. You're a failure. That's not it. The goal are healthy lifestyles. It's not weight loss. It comes. I trust me. I've just been in this almost close to 30 years now, and it does work, but it takes time. But be excited that you maybe are your belt loop is going a little tighter. You're going down a dress size or two. All of these things. Those are the and people get it. You feel better. You have more energy, focus. You're not as tired. It all helps because your health is getting better. That's the exciting thing. You don't have to grit and hang in there because, hey, once you get out of the carbohydrate cravings, your appetite comes down. And then with the Slenderiiz, they all work synergistically. But not only that, these healthy lifestyles, are there. And so my patients, they finally decide to make this move and they get motivated. They say, well, jeepers, if I'm going to spend my time, my money, and my effort, to make these changes, I want to make sure they're going to be clinically effective. Well, that's my job. That's what I have spent all this time spending and researching and doing the clinical trials so that if they do this, they can be assured pretty much, and you got to do it. If you don't do it, it doesn't work, that they can improve their health. So what I tell people is stay on the Slenderiiz until you reach your health and weight goals. Now, for some, that's a month. Some, it's 3 months. Some, it's 6 months. I mean, there are some, it might be 2 years. There's nothing in this that is a problem. But once you've reached your health and weight goals, then we go to what I call a maintenance phase. But you firmly established all of these lifestyles. And hey, you're there. You understand it and you learn, how to eat a healthy diet. You have a modest exercise program and you're taking supplementation. So everybody varies. They're starting at different points. I know it's exciting to see oh, gee, I lost 10 pounds the first 10 days. Listen, um, there are some people, and I know a lot of my patients, it took them 8 months to lose 10 pounds. That's okay. Give yourself, but over time, it will happen. And of course, I'm more concerned about their health than their weight loss, but it's exciting for my patients to come in. But you know what excites me most, Kristen, is my
What's
patients
that?
that come up to me say, Dr. Strand, I started your program 5 years ago and I've kept the weight off. That's exciting to me because everybody gains and loses weight. But those people, and I said, I'm going to end with this one thing. I had 98% of the patients gained the weight back, but I always had patients come in on a diet and they say, Dr. Strand, I've kept it off for 4 years. That's the 2%. And I always ask them one question: did you change your lifestyles? Oh, absolutely. That's the key. I mean, if you go back to the old diet and the way you lived and you don't learn anything through this, you're wasting your time. But everybody's different. Give yourself grace. Don't compare yourself. Be focused on your individual improvement and improving your health. So that's the key, Chris.
I think that was perfect. Thank you.
Kristen, I
Katie?
want to jump in with the two of you for just a minute. Again, we're so excited to be part of the Partner Co community where we support each other on this journey with this healthy lifestyle. And that's part of what I think each one of us knows is this is a commitment to our health and being part of locking arms with friends or family. I had my mom and my sisters over last night. And I'm like, all right, we're doing this in January. And we started all talking about just the commitment to lifestyle, like you said, Dr. Strand, and making the changes and eating healthy and supporting each other in that makes all the difference in the world. So it's fun. I had a few people over there saying, hey, can we share this with our family? Please do. Dr. Strand is amazing. And so we have a few more things we're going to share this morning, but at the very end, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give away 5 of Dr. Strand's books, Dr. Strand. So we want people to be able to learn this education. And so in just a second, Dr. Strand, I want you to give us 1 minute on the power of this book. And then we're going to also 5 lucky people. If you're here at the end, I'm choosing 5 lucky people from our participant list. So you 5 people, you get the book, plus you get our Pure Nourish shake. We know that when we make a healthy lifestyle change, we need protein in our body and we need ways to help get some healthy protein without, making us more hungry. So very quickly, Kristen, tell us about why you love Pure Nourish, and then Dr. Shan, you might pick up on that amazing product and also your free book. And then we have a few more pieces we want to share with you, 5 more minutes, and then we'll choose our giveaways at the end of the call. So go ahead, Kristen.
I love Pure Nourish One. I've used it for many years now. It is a plant-based protein. There's no artificial anything. So I'm huge on that. No artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavorings, no artificial coloring. So to me, it's one of the cleanest forms of protein powders you can find on the market. I think it tastes great. It'll pick up the flavor of whatever you put in it. It is very fine. I think it will. So if you put it in a shaker, it will blend very easily, but it has a full vitamin panel, plenty of fiber in it, some probiotics, prebiotics, enough. I think it's a perfect amount of protein. It's not too much. I could talk for a bit on why too much protein in a protein supplement is too much. And it is low calorie, so you can use it as a snack. But if you wanted to make it a meal, you could add a little bit more to it and turn it into a meal replacement. So tastes great if you add the chocolate branch chain power boost to it, and it's just a great product all around. So you'll be very lucky if you win it if you haven't tried it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Dr. Strand, just a couple of thoughts.
Yes, I believe that Pure Nourish is a behavioral modification tool. I use that in my practice. In other words, I get my patients actually, and I did this in the clinical trials, to use Pure Nourish for 2 of their meals. And then have one really good healthy meal and a couple healthy snacks if they want. But quickly using Pure Nourish the way it's developed, it is, Kristen mentioned all of that, but it's a healthy meal, and all of a sudden they can experience a healthy low glycemic lifestyle immediately. And all of a sudden they get out of that carbohydrate cravings. They're there, they learn, they can focus on eating that healthy meal, and it makes it easier. So it's a behavioral modification tool, and I use it. And I've been every morning for the last probably 15 years, I have a Pure Nourish. And I mean, I'm just having it, right? This is it right there. You can't see it, but that's every morning. And it's it's a great way to start because it's wonderful, but I use it to help my patients make all these lifestyle changes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that input. I have it for lunch every day. Same exact reason. You know, if I'm feeling a little bit of a craving, I go take one of those amazing protein shakes, and I come away feeling so healthy and clean. And I know I manage my calories. I know I manage my blood sugar. So it is one of my favorite products as well. So we're going to give that away here in just a few minutes at the end of the call. We love you, Dr. Strand. Thank you for your amazing content. We look forward to having you back with us in just a couple weeks. Kristen, let's just tell people we are starting a challenge January 6th. And so let's just spend 5 minutes, shall we, just sharing a little bit about this challenge for those who maybe are joining this call. Should we do it?
Yes. Yeah, let's do.
Awesome. Why don't you
So,
jump in?
yeah, so we are kicking off January 6th. You will be turning in your before and afters, getting completely registered on the 5th. If you have not been to the website yet, I believe is it on this screen?
It's right there. It's tucked right in partner.co/page/body balance challenge.
I don't have on my glasses, so this is why I can't see it, but it it
Maybe
is on
someone
there.
can put that, if someone would put that in the chat as well, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Go to that website. You can start reviewing the entire challenge. Okay. So you just get all the nuggets, all the information. But we're going to keep continuing to meet with you before we kick off. We're going to tell you how to get your before and after pictures taken. We're going to tell you how to get prepped for it. But this is going to get you set up. And of course, we're going to run this through Destin, and that's where the winners will be announced. And then you're going to tell us about our process.
Awesome. Yes. So it'll be a 28-day challenge, and we will have weekly calls every single week with Kristen White and Dr. Crystal Vance hosting, with some guests there as well. Dr. Strand will be back again for Q&A. We're going to have testimonials from those of you out there on the challenge, sharing your success. It's going to be an amazing 28-day challenge. And the best part is that we are doing it together, holding each other accountable, getting healthy in 2025. Yes, we have prizes. So at the end of this challenge, we will have 3 categories. Fitness. Those of you fitness buffs out there, give us a 1 in the chat box. Those of you who want to lose weight, give us a 10 in the chat box. And then we will also have body transformation. There's so many different ways we have success. And so we're excited to look for some of you who just have an amazing transformation. So again, first prize 1,000, second prize 500, and third prize 250 in each category. And we will be announcing it at our event in Destin, Florida on January 7th. And for the first prize in each category, if you attend that event, you will be getting a photo shoot. So that'll be super fun, showing your after, showing your body, showing your transformation. Can't wait for that. Weekly on our calls for the people, look, we want to reward every single person. And so we are going to have activity sheets. Like Dr. Strand said, the behavior modification is critical. We know it takes 21 days to actually change a habit. And so it's part of the reason why we do a 28-day challenge. We want to get all of us in the habits of living a healthy lifestyle. So we'll have a tracker sheet, and every day you can track, did you drink your water? Did you take your drops? By the way, if you leave those sitting on your counter, this will not work. You have to. And I love, that's the best advice Kristen White gave me, which was, Katie, you got to take Slenderiiz 3 times a day and accelerate twice a day. That is what helps you so that the cravings get curbed, so that you feel better, so we modulate our hormones. So we have to take those drops. Of course, our food that we put in is critical. Yes, we want you moving 3 times a week. We're going to say, did you move 3 times a week? And you can track that. And yes, sleep is important. So shooting, of course, for 8 hours, but at least 6 hours is what we really want, is people getting some good sleep. So if you do that and you turn in your tracker on the call on a weekly basis, we're going to randomly give away each week 5 $100 winners for those of you out there who are consistently doing your behavior. So that'll be super fun. We'll be giving product giveaways every single week. And then at the end of the 28 days, we want to reward people who were consistent throughout the entire 28 days. If you do, and you will be with us in Destin, we will offer each one of you a new headshot looking beautiful and amazing with your success with our challenge. So we also have a promotion right now. Kristen, you want to share what that is? Because we want to help people get on these drops.
Sure. Now, this one is for the US. So it started the 18th, but it's still going to run through the 23rd on a 4-pack, 10-pack, or a 30-pack. You qualify for free shipping on those drops. So if you have not solidified a 4, 10, or 30 yet, you have until the 23rd to get free shipping. I highly suggest you do that because that saves some money. That means you can offer a little promo to some customers to get them hooked on to this challenge with you. Or, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, 4-pack, I will use that myself. So I mean, I already got that. That was for me. I'm gonna run this 4-pack for 4 months. That's myself. But a 10-pack gets you some friends to come with you, and a 30-pack gets a lot of friends. So jump on that before the 23rd. And then I think you're going to share Canada with us.
Yes, and there's already amazing discounts built into the 4-pack, 10-pack, and 30-pack. So you're getting great savings on those products plus free shipping. Canada also has a phenomenal program. This product is registered in the US, so our amazing Canadian friends can buy this e-commerce, buy it over our website as customers and enjoy it as well. And so we have a 3-pack and we have a 4-pack, and our Canadian friends can also get it with free shipping. So, and the savings are built into those packs also. So, Kristen, why don't you share a call to action for all of us jumping on this challenge? And then also we'll just highlight our next call so everyone can jump on.
Yeah, so the call to action for our body balancing contest means you just got to get prepared. You got to get planned. One, you got to get your drops. So if you don't have drops, I don't know how you plan to start the program with us, but so get ordered before the 23rd, unless you already have some, because some people said that, Black Friday, they really stocked up. So you're set, completely fine. Get your goals, get ready. I'm going to, tell you for January 2nd, how we can prepare our mind, but you really need to be thinking, how can we get set up for success? Is your pantry cleaned out? Are we getting rid of some sugar? Are we getting our goals set up? Really what you want to accomplish here, I will suggest you go ahead and look at the program guide on the website and then get ready to take your pictures, get ready to register, have all the things ready to go, and tell all your friends to get ready to go. Oh, and then these are the calls. So January 2nd, that will be with Katie, Barbara, and I. And then this will be the preparation again. This is where we're going to get you launched. We are going to prepare your mind. We're going to get your pantry cleaned out. I'm going to suggest some healthy snacks that I use along the way, meal prep, even your gym bag. Let's prepare your gym bag. Let's get your water ready. Let's think about how all the things we want to do just to start taking control on January. I say January 1st, but January 5th is really when we're going to kick off. And then Crystal is going to be back with us again on January 6th with Barbara and Katie, and they're going to talk about that first week living on the plan. So put those on your calendar now, same Zoom link.
Super exciting. The same Zoom link, of course, going live on Facebook. Today was a little bit of a long call, y'all, because we wanted to get some amazing content with Dr. Strand. Our goal is to knock out these calls in 20 to 30 minutes so you can jump on quickly, get the tips, be encouraged by the community, and get about your day. Okay. Are we ready for the giveaway? I think it's time. We've had an amazing call. So as we've gone through this call, we have chosen 5 people to give Dr. Strand's book to and Pure Nourish. Once I announce the names, Alondra is going to put an email right now. Give us some 10s if you hope it's you. If you want it to be you, give us some 10s. All right, there we go. We got lots of people in the office. So Alondra will put her email. She'll do it several times in the chat box. I'll announce it as well. If you are the winner, please email Alondra. She'll get your personal information and send you it is. And here we go. Number 1, Chrissy Kowalski. Chrissy Kowalski. Number 2, Lisa Pappas. Lisa Pappas. Number 3, Mark Montgomery. Mart Montgomery. Number
Sure.
4, Terry Cobbler. Terry Cobbler. And number 5, Virginia Reese. Virginia Reese. So those are our 5 people today. Congratulations for being here. And Alondra, why don't you pop that in again right now? For those of you, if you did not see it, it's alondra.solis@partner.co. You'll have a chance to win again next week, January 2nd. As we leave today, Dr. Strand, one final word, 1 minute. We called our dose of inspiration. We're heading into the holidays. We're going to start this challenge here on January 6th. We'd love to hear from you one more time as we say goodbye today.
Well, this is exciting, and this is the time to really challenge yourself. It is not that hard. I mean, you really think about it. Once you start eating correctly, once you start just even modest exercise, you start taking the drops, you just look at the transform stories. You just look at all that's out there. They've experienced it. They started like you, and now they're a showcase, but they have gained a lot. So look at that because this program works. It's based on science, it's based on medical evidence, and it's actually the answer to our problems. So, really, I just challenge each and every one of you. It's not as hard as you think, but you've got the support and the accountability. Let's go for it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Strand. Thank you so much for hosting, Kristen White. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone, for being here today. This will be on replay on our Facebook page all day long and throughout the week. And so please share it with everyone. We're here together to commit to our health. Have an amazing holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And we will see you on January 2nd. We love you,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Take care.